All right, we're back. It's late August, 1862. So basically, kind of over in Virginia, Stuart's going to be heading back to um, Strasburg Depot. Um, we will, yeah, our partisan unit will also be going back now that's destroyed the railroad. This cavalry unit here will actually be going to Culpeper to try to bring this partisan unit to battle. Um, One thing I'll point out is actually Longstreet's corps is at 1588 is now basically the strongest corps. So we basically have two divisions in all of our forces here, except for Johnson's corps, which has one, um, and of course Stuart's corps here has two divisions. Both of the forces protecting Norfolk have only one division. So it's kind of a stalemate in Virginia. The Union isn't really making any big moves. I mean, there's a pretty large force here, but it looks like the interest has moved more out west. Um, Kind of the same thing going on in Kentucky. We have it's a bit of a stalemate with divisions just basically scattered all over the forest place. One thing I will be doing is when Hollins is taking over command and is going to try to see if this fleet is just going to hang around and bring them to battle. If we're lucky, they will not go back to Cairo. Meanwhile, Wallace's corps is here, but there's no supply wagon, so I don't really know what they're going to be doing. Presumably, they're going to be going back to Cairo to resupply. We do have a decent sized force um, in Memphis now, so that'll at least stop any sort of simple attack on Memphis and us losing that. So um, here is, oops, gone a bit too far. First, here's Grant in Springfield. We're still trying to really get organized in Fayetteville. General Anderson, a balloon unit, and another artillery battery is on the way. Probably what I'm going to do is once Anderson arrives, we'll swap out Price with Anderson. Price will go back to Fort Smith with a single militia unit. What I will be doing is I'm going to send this partisan unit over here to Fort Wayne, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to destroy the fort the next time. And that way there's not a fort that is adjacent to Fayetteville. All these forts actually have accumulated a lot of supply. One thing that we're going to be doing now is beginning to push west with Shelby, and while we're trying to hold Leavenworth and Lawrence and the rest. Um, the objective is to take Denver, and so if we zoom out, we can see that Denver is actually just basically to the northeast, and Shelby can move very, very, very quickly. 25% fast mover ability, 25% combat bonus for all cavalry units, and depth raider, and is also charismatic. So really trying to use him to the best of our abilities, in addition to being a 6x5. So Shelby's actually going to Stafford to assault, and we're going to push on to the other remaining forts in Kansas. If you look at the states, here is you can see that here's Kansas, and so we've taken over all of eastern Kansas, and now we're going to push on west. In conjunction with that, we're going to start to push north with our force from New Mexico. However, this time Baylor's force they basically need to rest, so they're just going to cross the Rio Grande again and get on the eastern sides, and then take a few days rest in Santa Fe. It's late August, so we might have a couple more turns before winter sets in and bad weather starts. Finally, with Quantrill and this Indian unit, we'll attempt to destroy the railroad and head west. What else happened? Oh, so yeah, some strategic moves. You can see what we're building, mostly brigades out there. In addition, we're going to increase the rail pool, the river pool, and we're going to pay a small premium for volunteers, and we're going to print paper money. Okay, let's run the turn and see what happens. All right, pretty interesting turn, lots of movement. Wow, it looks like there's like a Union cavalry force has landed in um, in Surrey. Yeah, that's what it appears to be. You can see there's a Union naval force here. Um, didn't see too much happening up in Virginia. It looks like there's a corps led by Franklin going around somewhere, but I'm not really sure. Oh, here it is. It looks like it's over again in their launching off point of a Kent. Um, Stewart did make it back, and there is a small cavalry division, um, division there. Um, didn't see much movement happen out west. One thing is that we looks like we defeated the Union force, um, but not dramatically so. We'll look at this. We'll look at the screen here in a minute. Here's the Union force. It looks like they've been resupplied, but they still don't have a supply wagon. Probably the biggest news, in my opinion, is that Sheridan came in with a vengeance and easily defeated Wadi. Um, we didn't really put up too much of a fight, and we retreated actually pretty quickly. So we have lost. We've lost Fort Leavenworth. We were able to destroy a railroad here in Mexico, but not in Vienna. It appears. Yeah. Um, the Shelby was able to quite easily defeat the fort here, and the fort is now gone. And they've actually taken these two forts, with there were no Union forces there. So we're only about two, there are only a few Union forts between us and really Colorado. Um, Meanwhile, here is how it looks in New Mexico, and our force has arrived. We'll basically try to get it organized and push on if the weather is decent, which it does appear to be. The supply wagon, I suppose, is down here going to resupply. Um, so our national morale is 134. Yeah, it looks. I don't really understand that. It looks like our unit didn't come to Culpeper, so um, there's no battle there. All right, let's take a look at the messages and see what happened. Okay, so unit trained again. Oh, this is actually quite interesting. We're sinking a lot of. Looks like he's using the merchant ships are just out there and just getting hammered. 59 money and 38 war supply. Hard to know if that really has much of an impact on Union, but on the Union money and war supply. But hey, it's at least something. Um, oh, great! So we did actually win a national morale in this victory. We both lost a ship. I'm trying to see what we lost. It doesn't. Not really easy to see. Um, the Union lost a ship as well, but they retreated. It's pretty, it was actually a pretty good fight by the Union, considering we really outnumbered them quite significantly. So we gained one national morale, and we lost one by returning to neutral value. Um, all right, let's see what else is going on. Here's the battle we lost in Leavenworth. We lost one cavalry unit, one Cherokee unit here. Um, yeah, it looks like we pretty much just retreated straight, uh, retreated straight away. Sheridan's a good cavalry commander, so I'll have to consider whether I want to send Shelby back to face Sheridan, or continue on pushing towards pushing towards Colorado. Looks like Grant did not move, so just sitting there with 4 divisions. And now we're starting to get a little more organized up here, so we'll be able to destroy the Fort Wayne and restructure our divisions in Fayetteville. Here's the battle where Shelby defeated the garrison. Looks like, oh no, they actually fought, so we took a few casualties. And then the small Union forces now in Strasbourg. Ooh, the Thomas Legion has been formed. I'm actually not familiar with that one. Okay, wow. So they got a whole bunch of um, elements. I might actually send them out to Kansas, um, or possibly give them to maybe it makes more sense to give them the Forest's Cavalry Division, Thomas Legion. So if anyone's familiar with that, put some comments in the bottom. I'm actually not. I wasn't actually familiar with that cavalry brigade. So if you know about it, let me know. Okay, so pretty quiet turn. I think next time I'll hopefully be able to push on in New Mexico, push forward. I think our next target is to kind of get a better view of what is here in East Mora. I'm actually bypassing and go forward onto East Taos here. There was that one mounted volunteer brigade here. Oh, by the way, one thing that's kind of cool you can see is that eastern Arizona is actually bottles up in western Arizona. So once you're in western Arizona, you can only go back to California, and once you're in southern California, you can only go. How does this work? I feel like there's a way. Yeah, it's really. If you look at this, basically, if you're in northern California, it looks like you can go to Nevada, and then once you're in Nevada, you can go on to Colorado. So in other words, if I'm reading this right, the force all the way down here in western Arizona, they don't have an easy way to get to Colorado. Or can they go here? Can they go across? We don't really know. Yeah. So if anyone knows about that, let me know. I think they can't actually. I think they have to go down or up. Those seem to be the options. Okay. See you next.